Hello everybody, I am Dr. Gurunathan, working as a teaching faculty at Kristu Jayanti College, Bengaluru. Today our topic of discussion is report writing in research. To begin with, why we require report writing. So when you speak about report writing, it is the final step in any research study that we are carrying out. It involves communication of the results that has been obtained in a research study. And remember that it requires a set of skills that are different from the one that is used during the research study. And you also should remember that guidance and assistance from experts may be obtained when you want to write a report, and any research task that we are doing is considered incomplete till the report has been presented and is being written. So that makes report writing a very important one. And whenever you are speaking about reports, these reports can be either oral reports or they can be written reports. When you speak about oral reports, they are there are no standard formats available for them. There are a lot of communication skills, right? Okay, associated with the presented, and very difficult to pinpoint mistakes by the audience, and the audience do not have big choice to pick from the presentation. Whereas when you speak about written reports, there are always standard formats that we are supposed to follow when we are having written reports, and clarification can be sought by the reader as and when required, and it is free from all the presentation issues that may be encountered during the oral report presentations, and mistakes can be identified and rectified at any point of time during the report preparation or even after the reports have been published. When you are speaking about the principles of any written report, it should follow simple principle. The simple principle or the simple term in this is an acronym for these. It is short, interesting, methodical, precise, lucid, and error free. All these forms the simple principle for any written report. And when you're speaking about the different steps in report writing, the very first step that we are supposed to look into is logical analysis of the subject matter. We should consider both logical as well as chronological order in which the subject matter has to be written. And the second step is final outline preparation that is required in the report, and a rough draft needs to be prepared, which is followed by rewriting and polishing whatever we have written in the rough draft and finalizing that with the bibliographic content and ending up with the final draft writing. When you speak about the research reports, there are several types of reports available, and it has been known that research reports vary greatly in their length as well as type. It can be a simple synopsis or an abstract, which is usually observed in proceedings of conferences or which is a report submitted prior to PhD thesis submission. Sometimes you require a report which is called as a dissertation and a thesis, or it can be required as a journal article, which can be a review article or a research article, and commonly referred as manuscripts, or sometimes it can be conference papers, particularly oral presentation. And these conference proceedings with full paper content are also considered to be reports. Apart from this, there are several other reports that are known to us. For example, you have something called as newspaper report, you have something called as technical report, you have something called as interim report, you have something called as popular report, summary report, project report, annual report, patent report, and even case studies report. All these reports are for different purposes and they cater different audience. When you speak about the remaining variety of research reports, you have something called as monographs, which has importance, particularly in the research field. Similarly, you have reports for policymakers in schools, and you also have proposals, which is generally prepared for the conferences, research, as well as thesis and dissertation associated with the proposals. Apart from these things, there are several other reports that are required for different conditions and different needs. And when you speak about the technical report, which is considered to be the most common report, it is required for a record keeping purpose. and it is also required for public dissemination of the knowledge that is gained over the years. And the main emphasis is what are the methods that are being employed in the research study that we have done, what are the assumptions that are made in the course of the study, and what are the detailed presentation of the findings. And remember that in any technical report, the limitations and the supporting data is given. Whereas when you speak about the general outline of technical report, right, okay, these are all the factors that they do there. One is summary of the results, which runs up to 2 or 3 pages, which is going to be short review of the main findings. Nature of the study is also described, generally covering the general objectives, formulation of the problem, working hypothesis, and the methods employed and their limitations, the collected data, their sources, the characters, the limitations and their suitability, and what kind of analysis done on the data, and how the findings are presented, including conclusions, bibliography, technical appendices, and indices. All these will be a part of a technical report. And whenever you speak about a research report, there is a common layout that is being followed. And this layout has been broadly classified into 3 different sections. The first one is called as preliminary pages, which contains title page and the date, the acknowledgements, the table of contents, and list of tables, figures, charts, and graphs that are given in the report. Whereas the second section is the main text, which is roughly classified into abstract, introduction, literature review, materials and methods, results, discussion, and conclusion part. And the last section is considered to be the end section of your research report, which speaks about the annexure, bibliography, and indexes or indices. And when you speak about the general outline, we call this outline of the report, particularly when you see in the previous slide, right? Okay, where you find the information about the main text content, we have the content written in the form of an acronym named as IMRAD. And IMRAD, I stands for introduction, M stands for methods, R stands for results, and D stands for discussion part. And each of these part is very important in its own way, and they are being followed by most of the report writing individuals. With this, I conclude my session today. Thank you for your patient listening. Take care.